I'm a little bit annoyed this morning because Jody and I have spent the past week getting the coffee shop ready for takeaway. We're on lockdown here in Portugal, but one of the things that was allowed was you were allowed to sell takeaways. But yesterday night, the government made an announcement that takeaway coffee and takeaway drinks are now against the law. So yeah, a little bit annoyed by that and a little bit sad that I can't go out and do photography, at least not ethically. And that's what I want to talk about on today's video. A lot of you have been asking about, can you go do photography during lockdown? What about doing it on, your daily exercise? So I wanted to touch base and discuss that. So on today's episode, we're going to go down in the studio and we're just going to chat about that. And hopefully my thoughts clear some things up. Okay, it's been a minute. It's been over 30 days since I filmed that intro upstairs saying I was going to talk about photography during lockdown. But I haven't switched on the camera in 30 plus days. And actually that's not exactly true. I tried to film 2 or 3 videos and I might try to piece them together for you after this. But I've been lacking inspiration. A lot of people ask me, do I prefer travel or photography? And I always thought it was kind of like a mix of the two. I always thought, I love travel, but would I really love travel if I didn't get to go out there and capture moments on my camera? And this time being locked at home has made me realize definitely that I don't love photography as much as I love travel. Because even if you took my camera away, I think I'd still be traveling and writing and exploring and having adventures. But being stuck at home, I haven't been taking pictures. And I do want to talk about this, taking pictures during lockdown. Am I allowed to go outside and take pictures during lockdown? Are there ways around the rules? Because I do get a lot of comments saying, hey Brendan, you're a professional photographer. Of course you can go out and do photos during lockdown. It's your job. But I want to discuss that a little bit later on. But I also kind of just want to sit here and chat and kind of use you guys as my therapy and talk about, what it's been like for the past 30 days without taking pictures. And I think last March when we were locked down, not being able to take pictures was really painful for me. But this lockdown, it's kind of been interesting in that I have missed going out to take photos, but I haven't been unhappy at all. I've been extremely happy through the past 30 days without taking pictures. I've been, really enjoying building something here at the studio. I've really been enjoying learning about coffee. I've really been enjoying the process of trying to get ready here. But we still can't open because of lockdown restrictions, so we're still kind of just sat here twiddling our thumbs. And as a result, I also have been feeling quite a bit of guilt. I feel guilty for not making videos for you guys. I feel guilty for making videos and then going, oh, that's not good enough to publish. I feel guilty taking a day off even though there's nothing really to do. I've been feeling a lot of guilt, and I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of people that are out of work, like I am, are feeling guilt because they're used to providing and they're used to making money and they're used to going out there and working. And when they can't work, they feel like they should be working on other projects at home. And I feel like that, but I don't feel like doing it. I don't know where I was going with that. And I think it's just been a totally different experience locked down here, mostly because we have this amazing space here in Lagos to escape to. And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about that. I'm sorry I haven't posted videos for the past 30 days. I really am. I feel like I said, a little bit guilty for it. And I'm going to try to make up for it over the next couple weeks. Not because I feel required to, but because I want to again. I feel like I'm inspired to do some stuff again. And I have a bunch of stuff to talk about. I have a lens that I want to review from Nisi. Nisi actually made a 15mm lens, which is really cool, and I want to kind of share that with you. And I want to talk about printing and costs and stuff like that as well. So there is going to be videos coming before the end of the month, probably a bunch of them in a batch. But let's talk about lockdown photography, because this has been a discussion that's come out since the very, very start. Can you go out and do photography during lockdown? And generally there's 2 arguments to the yes, you can go out and take photos argument. The one argument is, if I'm just going on my walk, can I bring my camera and take photos on the walk? And then the second argument is, yes, you can go out to do photography during lockdown because you're a professional. And most rules in most countries deem that if it's your job and you have to do it, you can go out and take photos. So I want to kind of discuss both of those reasons and why I don't feel like I can fall into either of those categories, ethically, I guess. The first is you can take photos on your walk. I 100% agree with that. I believe that if you every single day go for your 30 or 45 minute exercise walk and you bring your camera along and you take pictures on your normal route or normal route, you're more than welcome to. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. If you were to take photos on your phone, nobody would question it. But you have a big camera and all of a sudden everybody's judging your intentions. But I think it really does come down to the intention of why you're going out. Are you going out to take photos and using exercise as an excuse? Or are you actually going out for exercise and taking photos? And if it's the former, I think that that's a bit of a problem. You're using photography as an excuse to go out and do exercise. And as much as that's almost always the case, even pre-lockdown, so many of us were like, I need to go for a walk, so I should go take some pictures somewhere to get out of the house and do some exercise. So it's understandable, but I think if you go, oh, I'm gonna go walk down to the beach for 2 hours taking photos, it breaks the rule. The reason I haven't done that here in Portugal is because I look like a tourist here. I do, I look like a tourist. It's like 18, 19 degrees and everybody's in winter clothing and I'm in like t-shirt and shorts. I look like a tourist and I don't want to look like a tourist. I don't want to be pulled over by the police because I look like a tourist. I don't want the locals to look at me like I'm being irresponsible. So I actually haven't taken my camera out at all over the entirety of lockdown. Now, the second excuse as to why you can go out and take photos during lockdown is if you're a professional. And again, this is a really interesting thing and there's all sorts of reasons why it may or may not be okay. So the concept is, if your job, your profession is as a photographer, you should be able to go out and take photos. And I think that there is a line here. And I think that line is journalism versus non-journalism. For example, if you're in the UK, there's still programs that are journalism that are going out and they're having a filmmaker film. So that's okay. And landscape photographers can be journalists as well. For example, it's the storm in the UK, the winter storm you guys had. And yes, I put winter up like that as a quotation. You guys had a tiny bit of snow. You guys had a tiny bit of snow, that's a big news story. So if you're a journalist photographer, as a landscape photographer, you can go out, in my opinion, and take photographs of it and document it. But you have to do that as a profession. You need to have a press pass. You need to be a part of some sort of press organization, in my opinion. There's been a lot of landscape photographers in the UK that I know on Twitter that are going out and going, this is amazing, I love lockdown because I can go to all these locations that are usually packed and do my job. Me personally, I don't have a problem with that because generally you go to a location as a photographer and you're not going to have anybody around, you're not really doing any harm. The line is professional versus amateur. And again, the whole thing reeks of elitism, but that's just kind of how it is. It's the same reason professional footballers can go to the stadium and play and practice, but amateur footballers can't go to the stadium or park and practice. It's elitism, I don't like it, but it's just kind of how it is. So if you need to be out taking photos of a landscape for an assignment, that's okay. If you're going out to take photos hoping to potentially sell them to a client, I'm not sure that's okay. I don't know why my voice cracked. And I think at the end of the day, it's just finding that line and deciding where you stand on the line and figuring it out yourself. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing anything as long as it's more or less responsible myself. And that's just because I think that there is no set defined rule. And I think that being responsible is an obvious thing that we can figure out ourselves as human beings. I don't love the rules. I don't love the restrictions. Some of them are silly. The fact that I can't go down to the beach here in Lagos to take pictures is silly. It's open air. There's nobody around. I never see anybody. I can walk there. It's within distance of my house. There's things that are just silly, but I also really want to be respectful and responsible. And as a Canadian, we're rule followers, so I'm just trying to follow the rules the best I can. Now, again, the reason I haven't used that reason is because I haven't had an assignment. I am a part of press organizations, but since there's no assignment that I'm working for, I haven't gone out to take pictures. Because I feel like I need to have an assignment, a project, before I can go out and do photos. If I was approached by, I don't know, the tourism board of Portugal to go out and take some photos, I would have no problem to do that. If I was approached by TAP Airlines to go out and take some photos, I would go do that. But since I don't have an assignment, I don't think that it's right for me to go out and take photos. I do have to film another episode of the TV show that I shared with you guys a little while ago. So I will be going out to film that, and I will be using my press certification as justification for that. One of the things when I feel like I'm just talking to myself. One of the things that, is really helpful with YouTube and when you're talking to the camera is imagining people on the other side of the camera. And I feel like myself, I really thrive when I feel like I'm chatting directly with you guys. And I feel like part of my lack of inspiration is I've just figured this out right here and now, is that I haven't had enough interaction with people. I just haven't talked to people, so I can't imagine anybody on the other side. Lockdown's hard, guys. It's like I'm going Jack Nicholson crazy over here. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm an introvert. And a lot of people have been going, lockdown's probably an introvert's dream. It's not. It's our nightmare. Because as much as we love our time alone and we gain energy from it, we need social interaction, and we're not going to go out and look for it. We want it to come to us. We're the type that sits in a corner in a bar and hopes people come to talk to us because we don't want to go talk to other people. But we need other people to talk to us. So lockdown is making me crazy, but we'll get through it. The numbers have come down crazy fast here in Portugal. The numbers spiked insane. It was actually the worst in the world a couple weeks ago, and then the numbers have dropped dramatically. So we're all hoping another 15 days and we're out of this, and we'll be back to taking pictures outdoors again soon. And until then, I think, honestly, I might do more sit-down chat videos, almost like podcast style with you guys, just to have something to talk about, because I need this. I don't know if you guys need this, but I need this conversation. This keeps me sane. This keeps me from going Jack Nicholson crazy. So, yeah, that's it for today's video. And hopefully there'll be another one tomorrow or the next day. I'll see you there. Peace.